Welcome back to Low Expectations in Public Education as we continue our series we've titled Fun Accounting as seen in our district. So today we're going to focus, as promised, on auto maintenance and replacement as building maintenance. So you can see the time frame here, same time frame we've been looking at. And within this 8 months, 95 total transactions. And one of the things that stood out while signing these warrants, 0 purchase orders. So if you remember any of the blogs before, step number 1 in the purchasing process is the purchase order has 0. So we're out of compliance already, and these were not seen by anybody on the board of the finance committee for weeks, if not months, after they're made. Total expenditures just over $43,000 for about $5,400 a month. And the most commonly used accounting code you'll see here, and we color coordinated the number in the middle as the function code, maintenance of buildings, and the fourth number is the object code, which would be general supplies in this instance. When you look at the second most used, or they're used pretty commonly, same function code, maintenance of buildings, and then non-technology related repairs and maintenance. Function code 2620, that my number in the middle for here, is maintenance of buildings in the accounting handbook, but there is actually a 2650 that would separate these out from other maintenance that you can see here, vehicle operation and maintenance, and you can see here what this would entail, as far as repairs, parts, etc. Object code, that fourth number, 6,000, take off the 5 and the 0, general supplies, okay, for your buildings. And then object code 4310, non-technology related repairs and maintenance of contracts, etc., for the upkeep of buildings and non-technology equipment. So let's look at what some of these may have looked like in here. So when you think about types of expenditures, one thing that we notice was somewhere between 1 and 15 vans. Do we really have 15 vans? We also at least have 1 ton truck that we're maintaining within our district. 2 van purchase, $5,200 a piece. These are both 2005s, must be very quality vehicles with an average price tag of $2,600. The code used for these was a little bit different. This object code actually is for equipment for the maintenance of buildings. So I'm assuming that we're driving these vans. I don't know, maybe we're using them in the building someplace. I'm not really sure. I haven't seen them in a building. But maybe they are. But we'll just assume that they're being used for driving purposes and travel. Tires, $1,900. A lot of these weren't actually assigned to a van or a vehicle. Maybe they were crushed up, put on the turf field before we got the new one, or maybe they were used out on the playground. We're not really sure. But for this sake, we're going to assume they were put on vans. 13 oil changes. Once again, some of these weren't actually assigned to a van, but they may be changing the oil in the buildings. I'm not sure, but we'll just assume they were all for vans. When you look at van repairs, it gets really interesting because when you think about it, these vans seem to break down quite a bit. You can see van number 5 got fixed on April 19th and again on April 20th. Actually, we got the part on the 19th, and then we took it someplace to get fixed. So $986. When you look at van number 7, 4 repairs spread out through the 8 months for a little over $1,400. Van number 8, 3 repairs, just over $2,200. And then we also have, there are a lot more repairs, but I figure you get the point from there. When you look at general repairs, so I'm calling these general because they're not really assigned to a van. Right? There's no real van number, and we don't have a purchase order, so I'm not really sure what van it was for. 40 transactions, just under $20,000. Common reasons put in the comment section or reason section were repairs, very specific, supplies, very specific, and van wash, which we were assuming was the washing of the vans themselves, at about $14 a pop. There's also a dump pass included in here. Kind of curious, considering it must be not in Hamden, because in Hamden these are for personal use, not for the largest employer in our town. And also, we pay tens of thousands of dollars for Pine Tree to remove the waste from all of our buildings. So not really sure why we would need a personal dump pass as part of our district maintenance program, but we do. So let's take a look now at why do those transactions get interesting. So I showed you van number 8. And if you think about that one, you see the circle going around it. You see van number 8, no tax, and van number 8. We're assuming that's the same van. I've never heard of a model no tax. And you can see a couple weeks apart, 8/30 and 8/9/15, but the exact same number. So either went in and had the something fixed, and then 2 weeks later had the exact same thing fixed, or just miraculously there are 2 different repairs to this van within 2 weeks that cost the exact same amount of money, or we're double invoiced, or we double paid it. Well, it gets a little bit clearer on the next one, van number 3, van number 3, van number 3, same date on the invoice, and then you see the exact same amount. So maybe we just just like to pay them twice. But you'll see here when we look at the numbers, these were on 2 different reports. So once again, a total lack of controls on the money flow within our district. We want to keep these short, so once again, we will be back next time with some very creative uses to improve our adult education. So till next time, thank you for joining.